Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amit. Today we are going to answer this question and perform a demo. I have a table that has 300 million records. I need to delete 100 million records from the table. Explain different approaches those can be used. So when it comes to big deletes or updates, we need to consider so many scenarios, especially in the production system. So let's say we have a production system that is running and we have to delete these 100 million records from a table. One thing, do we have enough storage that can handle these transaction log? Because when you are going to delete 100 million records, the transaction log file is transaction log file is going to increase, because the transaction log is the database file that keep the record for all the transaction what we do on the database. So one thing, do we have enough storage? If we do not have enough storage to save those transaction log files, especially in case of big deletes, updates or inserts, what approach we want to do? Second part, even you can perform this task in off hours or not. If you are deleting 100 million records, what it is going to impact the users? Are they accessing the data at the same time when you are trying to delete? So you have to plan that out. And there is a downtime. Let's say they say, okay, on weekend we give you 5 hours and you go ahead and delete it. So if that's a possibility, our approach could be different. But if the database is online, they want to access all the time, there is no way we can take this 5 hours or 4 hours time to do our operation, and no downtime. So those cases we have to consider different scenarios. So let's come up with the first scenario. We are saying delete the records in small portions. So that can be effective. Okay, we need to delete 100 million records. One thing, we are deleting in small chunks. That's going to take care of the transaction log. So we will set maybe 100,000 records in one of the delete. So we will keep deleting 100,000 records each transaction. But think about that. If you have 100 million records, it's going to take a long time, because it is going to delete 100,000 records and commit that transaction, come back again, take that one. So it is going to loop through and delete small chunks, but that will keep the transaction log size small, but the time it will take whole lot. So your users will be able to access the data while you are deleting, not the data you are deleting, but the other data, they will be able to access that data. Next part is, if we can get some downtime, we say, okay, we can move the records from this original table to another table, truncate the original table, reset the identity, whatever we have to do, and primary key, foreign key, relationships, everything we will take care of that, and then recopy those records which are good records, only 2 million records, and exclude those 100 million records, leave that one to the temp table where we have copied. So just bring the original records. In this case we are only inserting, we are not deleting. So we can do bulk, we can set the data to the bulk log, and we can use that inserts, and that will be fast. But we have to have some downtime, because we are moving the data from our original table to the temp table, truncating the original table. So we need some downtime for that. So you have to come up different scenarios. First of all, in this scenario, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use the first method and try to keep the log small and delete in smaller chunks. So what I have here for you, I have a table in which I have a lot of records actually, but I don't have 300 million records here. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and show you a few things. We go to the test database, that's where my table is, and it's called customer table. So right click here, take properties. So what we see here, so our initial size is 612 for data and 1 MB for our log file. And next part, what I want to show you, go to option, and it is in simple. Okay, So even your database in simple recovery mode, when you insert, delete or update, it does put the records in the transaction log. It log those information in the transaction log. When it will be full, it will be fully loading all those transaction information, but if it is simple, still it will log some information. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead, it even simple, I want to show you what happened. So if I will insert right now, this demo will take some time. In middle you will see few things, like a minute or 30 seconds or whatever time it will take to insert those records, and I will be kind of quiet, or I give you some hints, but we will keep going. So what we have here, we have 9 million records. So if I will insert right now, if I will take this is the query I can use this dot database underscore file view, that's a system view, to get the file name, that's my data file, and this is my log file, and I can get their physical location, and then I can get their size and max size as well. So -1 is unlimited, and this is a number that's set for the log. So if I run this one right now, I see my transaction log is 1 MB, and this is my data file. So if I will run this one, now we are just doing insert. So let's insert 9 million records and see what happened. Now it is inserting a record into the table. I'm reading from the same table and inserting into the same table. That's possible, you can do it. So if I go back here, as the database is set to simple, our thought should be, okay, it is simple, it should be doing very minimum logging, like and there shouldn't be, the size shouldn't change. 1 MB maybe is enough, maybe 2 MB or 3 MB. But when we start running this one, you can see that the size of the log is increasing. It's increasing actually a whole lot. So the total size is 680 MB as of now. This log size is 379 right now. Let's keep running. So you see that the log is increasing, and data size is also increasing because we are inserting the records in the table again. So the size of the data file is increasing as well as the log. Even we have the recovery mode set to simple. Okay, I'm just waiting that this should complete, but this is 1 minute 14 seconds, and let's see how much time it will take. It's inserting 9 million records. I'm using SQL Server 2014, and that's one thing I want to show you here. Meanwhile, I will come back here later and show you few things on my blog while this is happening. Okay, so while it is inserting, let's go back one more time and see what exactly is happening. Okay, the log size is much more than the size of the data. So that's why we take the log backups very often, and 30 minutes, 25 minutes, or the transactions, whatever are there, we take the log, so it would not increase a whole lot. So that's one way to keep the transactions in control. So let's see if it did complete. It's not completing yet. It's taken a whole lot. So while it is running, I want to take you a tour to my blog. So we have SQL Age and Tech Brothers, that's blog, sqlage.blogspot.com, and here you will be able to find all those TSQL interview questions. So I'm taking all these questions one by one and making video out of them. One good thing I want to tell you here, if you are interested to learn about SQL Server DBA, so you have SQL Server 2014 DBA tutorial. This tutorial has everything what you are looking for. You have installation videos, 11 installation videos, you have security, you have databases, contained databases, backups, restore, and you have how to rebuild your master or MSDB, or how to move the files for a temporary database, tempdb. You have server level auditing like triggers, and you have a lot more, like how to create the policies and different order specifications for SQL Server. And then you have replication, a lot more details, why you use replication, where the replication used, what type of replications are there. So you have everything here. And then you have resource governor, mirroring. The goal is to create a big tutorial with all those basic topics, and then take you to the level where you can encounter the hardest task on daily basis, and perform them before you even start your job, or even you are expert and you want to learn new things. So our goal is put you another maybe 100 more videos. Right now it is more than 100. Our goal is maybe 250 just for the DBA tasks. So this will give you a free access to this library. You can just click here on any of the video, it will take you to the YouTube, you can watch the videos. Let's go back. I'm gonna give you another tour on this website while we are doing this one. So now what we see here, all those records are inserted, and it took 2 minutes and 23 seconds. So good. Now if we want to take the count, we can take the count. It will be the double. Cool. Let's write this down. Now if we go and take a look on the size, so what happened here, the size has increased. The actual size of data file is 1.2 gigs or 1208 MB, but the size of the log file has 3398 MB. So that increased whole lot. So if you are doing big operations such as big inserts, big deletes, updates, your transaction log size is going to change, and it will grow. So even your database is in simple recovery mode. If you are doing inserts, you might want to change this one to the bulk insert and bulk logged, and that will help at least in the case of inserts. But when you are doing delete updates, even if you are even use the bulk log, it's not going to help. Or even you use the simple, it will still put with the bulk log or simple, it will put the information in the transaction log. With the full, it will put more information, but with these one, even still you can see that it put a lot of information for us. So sometimes we don't have that option to change to the simple recovery mode because applications are attached. We don't want to take the risk of converting to simple. If the transaction, we lost the transaction, what happened? We can't take the transaction log back up and all those. We want to keep that to full and just delete with small chunks. So let's let me put as a simple and let's go to simple right now. Hit OK. What I want to do here, I want to show you first. Let's go back, and one more thing let's do. Let's shrink the database size. So let's shrink file size here. Go to the log, and now 58% is free. Let's shrink it. Now we are going to see what happened. The very first scenario, so we shrink the log file size, and it is to 1 MB. I didn't take the backup or anything, I don't care about that. So I shrink it, bring it to 1 MB again. Next part, here what I want to do, I want to say where region code is equal to AS. So this has multiple regions. The table has data for different regions. So let's go back here. If I select, so you can see that I have a data for different regions, Asia, North America, Europe, and all that. So they are pretty much the same amount of records. So right now my database is in simple recovery mode, and I want to delete everything for Asia. So delete from Asia. Let's take a count first. Run the statement. Okay, stop this one. Okay, these many records I have for Asia. So if I want to delete that one, I have set the transaction log to 1 MB. Right, in your production you will not set 1 MB. I mean, it will be grown maybe 10 GB or 15 GB. But if you will do a big delete again on top of those 15 GB what you have, it can grow to maybe 20 or 25 or 35. Depends how much it can handle with that 15, and if it will go beyond, then it will start increasing that. So we want to delete in small chunks, so whatever the size you have, it should accommodate in that one if you are deleting in small chunks. So it's good idea to have, okay, your log file has increased the size to 15 GB. That's not bad, because you are doing the transaction and they should be handled in that size. So let's delete this one for Asia. And right now what we have, I have size, log file size 1, but as I told you, it could be maybe 1 GB, but I'm just showing a demo and how does really increase the size. But in actual scenario, your size will be different. You will maybe have 5 or 10 or whatever, but if you are doing 100 million record or 500 million records, that really will not be able to handle in maybe 5 GB. So you know, that will increase. So the good idea is deleting in small chunks. And one thing here, we are keeping the database in simple. I want to show you, even in the simple recovery, the size of log will increase. So let's go back and delete this one, delete everything. While I delete this one, this is working right now. We are deleting almost 5.5 million records from this table. Let's see how much time it will take, and let me give you tour of the blog again. I don't want to give you tour, but I don't want to make you bored while we are doing this one, so I'm gonna walk you through different things. So next part, I was showing you, I have this SQL Server 2014 DBA tutorial, and step by step you can follow and learn the DBA part of a SQL Server. Now here I have another tab called SQL Server interview questions. So this list is a lot bigger, so you can see this list has hundreds of questions, so 266 questions. And this has I have written, for some of them I have written the post, and you see them in the blue. If you will just hover over there, you will see them blue. But we have make a lot of videos for these questions. So if you are preparing yourself for the interview of a DBA, and I recommend going to the list, you know, and click here on a video answer, or go to the directly to the YouTube, and let me take you to YouTube. What you see a lot of interview questions. So there is a list. Now let me find out real quick here. So you have 241 questions and answers. So this all includes some of the answers I have put from the DBA tutorial as well. They were short videos, and I thought, okay, this is a good idea to put them as interview questions. So you can play this whole list and learn the detail and prepare yourself for the interview. Let's go back here, and this is completed. So it took 58 seconds, so that's a good thing. But let's go and see what happened with the transaction log. So the transaction log, in the first time when we are inserting, it was 3,300 something, and this time for the delete in the simple recovery, it deleted only 5.5 million record, and the size increased to 3 GB or 3089 MB. So that did increase. One thing I want to do now, I want to go back here, properties, come back to file, and this time I want to check that to full recovery. Before I do to full, let me shrink the file size. So let's go task, shrink files, data. We don't care about data, we want to take care of the log. So just shrink the log file. I know this video is kind of long, but there are certain things I want to show you, and they are important, and I really want you to understand what exactly goes beyond these big deletes and updates, because sometimes we see, oh, I'm in simple recovery, why it is increasing to 10 GB, you know. So this is what happening. Okay, so now I have set that one to 1 MB again by shrinking the file, and now what I want to do, I'm going to go to properties, change the option, and instead of simple recovery, I want to have a full recovery. Okay, this is true production. So full recovery, database, all good. And now we have a table that has data for different regions. So let's execute this one, and we have data for North America. We want to delete the data for North America only. We have data for Asia, North America, Europe, and all that in this table, but I want to delete only for North America. So come back here. Now for North America, let's take the count actually. So we would know that how much, because last time we took the count, it was 5.5 million, and we have deleted by using simple recovery mode, and here it is 6.3 million for North America. But here this time what we want to do, we want to delete in small chunks. So how I can do that? I have set my database already to the full recovery, and I want to delete all those records, but I don't want my transaction log to go to the 3 GB even. I want to make it this just maybe in 1 GB, so or 2 GB. So I don't want to increase that size. So what I have here, I have written script how you can delete the records from the table in small chunks. So first of all, what we are doing here, I'm declaring a variable. So I'm saying delete row count. So it's integer type. Then I'm setting the value of this variable to 1. Why? Because I will be using this variable in the loop, and if the value is greater than 0, so enter, I want to get into the loop. So for the very startup, I want the value to have 1. Here when I will say delete row count is greater than 1, we will get into the loop. Okay, next part, I'm defining a batch size. So I'm saying at the rate delete batch size integer type, and here I'm setting that to the 1000. I can set that one to the 10,000, or I can set that to the 100,000. So I will test a few scenarios when I'm doing in production. I might test the same scenario in QA and UAT, delete first, take the time, how much time it is going to take and all that, and then implement this solution in production. So I can test or experiment with different sizes before I will go ahead and notice how much time it will take. So let's consider we are doing for 10,000, let's do 100,000. Okay, so now we are doing for 100,000. We want to delete in the transactions of 100,000 or batch of 100,000. So as values for this variable is 1, when it's coming to while, it is going to go in the loop, starting of a loop. So I'm saying delete top. Here I can put the value batch size. I could have just hard coded it, or I can write it here, with the, I can use the variable. So I use the variable, and I'm saying delete from this table top 1000 records, and then where region is equal to North America, because we are deleting for North America. And then I'm saying set at the rate delete row count is equal to at the rate row count. So this global variable is going to return us the number of record is affected by this transaction. So once there would be no record, this value will be set to, this is going to return us 0, and then what happened? So we have this value, and the 0 then is not greater than 0, so we will be out of the loop. Okay, so starting with 1, and then we will keep deleting until this will return 0, and once it returns 0, we will be out of the loop. Let's run this statement right now. What we have, I have transaction log size 1. Okay, and I'm deleting 6.3 million records for region NA, but I'm deleting in a chunk of 100,000. And see, last time when we deleted, our size was 3 GB of that transaction log. So if we use this one, what happened? Let's run this one. The query is running. Now let's go to the transaction log and take a look. Okay, 74, 90. Okay, so I'm keep refreshing. So it is deleting the records right now, and it will keep deleting. Let's see how much time it take, and then we can see the size is also increasing. Last time with simple recovery we deleted 5.5 million records for region Asia, and our size was 3 GB or 3089 MB. So here now we are deleting with the small chunks, and see if the transaction log will log size will stay small, because we are deleting in small chunks, and our as it 100,000 records, they should be accommodated in maybe 300 MB, I don't know. So let's see how much time it take. Sorry, space it taken time as well. So it is taken time though. Here if you see that the last time we deleted 5.5 million record, they completed in 58 seconds. Right now this is above 1 minute. So let's take a look, you know, in a while. Let me give you another tour while we are here and show you what you can use this blog post website or a YouTube channel for the Tech Brothers. If you are interested to learn real-time SSIS, so I have a lot of SSIS post. I have a lot of SSIS videos as well. So let me give you some SSIS interview questions and their real-time scenarios. So let me find out where the SSIS interview question, right here. Now here, if you are preparing yourself for SSIS technology, so these questions are not just the interview questions. These questions are your book. You can start these questions and perform these, and this is the real-time scenarios you are gonna learn here. So everything what I do, I don't just take that oh, what is this and what is that. I try to bring all those problems to you and then provide the solutions. So let's take any of them. If I'm saying what is data viewer and why you are using data viewer in the SSIS package, can you use the data viewer in the control flow? I mean, this teaches you what exactly data flow does. Okay, what are the limitations and why, how, where it can help you. So you will, if you click here or go to the video, you will see detailed step by step those figures, how to set up and how to use it. So I recommend, if you are using or preparing yourself for SSIS, you can learn a lot of good stuff from this list. We are very open with the suggestions, and you can give us any suggestions. This is all community work. We are going to do our best to provide you the solution. If we don't know, we learn from you. So that's how I am. Anyways, let's go back here and now see, still it is running. I don't know, this video I'm gonna be really somebody who is gonna watch, they're gonna not like me, so that's fine. Okay, so size is stuck to 109, and here one more thing I want to show you. Okay, we can see how many records are deleted. So let me take a count. If I will use right now, remember these many records were here. So if I am interested, oh, I don't know how many records are deleted already from this one, so I'm going to take this one, and if the transaction is running, we can use with the NoLock option. So by using that one, we can get the record counter, and we know that the total record count is this, and then I get the other count, and then I can subtract them, and I can tell like how much is done. So if I run this one, now it gave me this number. So I have this number, and this was the total here. So now what you see here, it is deleting, but the progress is very slow. So it deleted let me see, 373,000 records that has been deleted. But if you see the time, it is taken 4 minutes. Right now it is 5 minutes. So you can calculate the time. So this is a good idea. Maybe you run for 5 minutes, take the count, and then say, okay, for 100,000 records it is taken 2 minutes. Then for million it will take 20 minutes, and I have 6 million, so I have multiplied that number to get the actual time, how much time it will take to delete many records when I will run as a chunk of 1,000 records, or delete in the chunk of 1,000 records. But if one thing I would like to tell you, let's run this query again with NoLock. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so now all of a sudden all those transactions got completed. That's great news. So it took 5 minutes to delete that data, and it remember when we did delete everything from Asia, it took 58 seconds. So there is a big difference between the time it will take when you delete in small chunks. It's going to take more time because it will delete the record, commit them, and then go and take the next one. And in the big delete is going to delete everything in one chunk. So the time will be short when you are deleting in bigger chunks, and when you are deleting in small chunks, the time can take long. So you have to do some experiments and see what works best for you. But one thing we notice here, I want to show you, that part is important. Here the size of the log didn't grow more than 109 MB, because our size 100 MB, 100,000 records were we were able to accommodate them in 109 MB. Okay, so if you are going to delete a lot of records in production and your database is maybe already grown to the 15 or 10 GB of log file, and if you will delete with 100,000 record, it might not even increase at all. But if you will delete 3 billion records, yes, it will increase if it will not be able to accommodate in that 10 GB of log file. So thanks very much for watching this video, and I hope you learned some good stuff from here. One summary: even you are in simple recovery or a bulk logged recovery, when you delete or update or insert I will say when you are in delete or update and you are in simple or bulk recovery mode, your log file size is going to increase. If you are in bulk logged and you insert a lot of records, you have good chances the size will not increase the way it will increase in simple recovery. So I recommend you take these kind of scenarios and jump into that and do some experiments and learn the good stuff. Thanks very much for watching this video, and sorry for taking a whole lot of time. See you next.